Welcome to Spectrum News this week, a recap of major stories within the week. I am Uyai Anyeka and coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Let's take a look at the stories. President Tinubu congratulates Akpabio Abbas, reaffirms readiness to work with NAS. Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Moino reiterates commitment to complete all projects started by past administration. Plus, Russia President Putin claims Ukraine counteroffensive is failing. We'll bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. Thanks for joining us. First in the news within the week is Nigeria's leader, President Bola Tinubu, who congratulated the new Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas on their election as presiding officers of the 10th National Assembly. This followed an election in the Senate that saw Akpabio beat former Governor of Zamfara State Senator-elect Abdulaziz Yari by 63 votes to 46 to emerge president. In the House of Representatives, Abbas, who was the preferred candidate of the All Progressives Congress, polled 353 votes, beating his rivals, former Deputy Speaker Ahmed Wase and Aminu Jaji, who both secured 3 votes each. In a statement he personally signed today, Tinubu said being elected by peers as presiding officers and assuming the leadership of the National Assembly is a great honor that comes with huge responsibility. Meanwhile, President Tinubu during the week said court orders issued to truncate Nigeria's democracy will no longer be tolerated. He stated this on the occasion of the 2023 Democracy Day. According to him, politicians have obtained court orders to upturn the electoral victories of opponents and occupy offices, noting that illegal orders will not be condoned. The president, while noting that Democracy Day is celebrated yearly on June 12 in honor of the winner of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, late Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola, MKO, and other heroes of democracy, said the recent harmonization of the retirement age for judicial officers is meant to strengthen the rule of law. In the meantime, the president in the course of the week pledged that his administration would commit more resources to the education sector to ensure that every Nigerian child, regardless of their background, have access to quality education. According to a statement by the Director of Information at the State House, Abiodun Oladunjoy, Tinubu spoke in his office during a visit by the leadership of the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS. The president said poverty should not be a barrier to education, emphasizing the transformative power of education in combating poverty. Moving away from that, Senator Godswill Akpabio within the week was sworn in as the president of the Senate for the 10th National Assembly, succeeding Senator Ahmed Lawan, who is also a member of the 10th Senate. The former Akwa Ibom State Governor was returned elected as president of the 10th Senate after scoring 63 votes, defeating Senator Yari, who scored 46 votes. Recall that the candidate of the All Progressives Congress APC served as a minister for Niger Delta Affairs from 2019 to 2022, representing Akwa Ibom Northwest Senatorial Zone.
Total number of votes cast 109. Absent nil. Abstain nil. Abdulaziz Yari scored 46 votes. Godswill Akpabio scored 63 votes. Therefore, Senator-elect Godswill Akpabio, who has received the highest number of votes, is hereby declared and returned President of the Senate. Yeah. You can now vote of allegiance. You are okay.
I, Senator Godswill Akpabio, Commander of the Order of the Niger,
do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God.
In a related development, Senator Jibrin Barrow also emerged Deputy Senate President of the 10th National Assembly. Senator Dave Umahi nominated Senator Barrow as Deputy Senate President and read his citation, after which the nomination was accepted by a nominee. However, the clerk of the Red Chamber, after no further nominations, declared Barrow as Deputy Senate President unopposed. In a separate development, the federal government during the week alerted the general public to the outbreak of anthrax disease in some neighboring countries within the West African sub-region and advised Nigerians to desist from the consumption of hides, otherwise known as pomo, at the moment. It specifically stated that the disease was widespread in northern Ghana, bordering Burkina Faso and Togo. It disclosed this in a statement issued in Abuja by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and signed by its Permanent Secretary, Ernest Omotive Therapy. The Agri Ministry further added that other states of Nigeria were equally advised to join in the exercise. Meanwhile, the Federation Account Allocation Committee (FAAC) in the course of the week asked the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) to refund the 2.1 trillion naira deducted for subsidy to the Federation account. The FAAC allegedly accused the company of denying the government the huge funds from January to March. Reports say FAAC is a body that distributes revenues generated into the Federation account to the tiers of government and other agencies that benefit from the fund. From the Green Chambers, the House of Representatives within the week urged the federal and state governments to prepare for impending flood disasters. This comes on the heels of a motion of urgent importance by Femi Gbajabiamila shortly before he resigned from the House of Representatives to take up his role as Chief of Staff to the President. Following Gbajabiamila's proposition, the House expressed concerns that large portions of the country are prone to flooding, according to the prediction of the Nigerian Meteorological Agency in January this year. The lawmakers asked the government to prepare palliatives and intervention measures for Nigerians to reduce the effect. The House also resolved to invite Nigeria National Emergency Management Agency to brief the House on measures in place in preparation for the floods. In another development, the National Democratic Coalition Renewal Group during the week said that President Bola Tinubu's inauguration on May 29 has set Nigeria firmly on the path of meaningful recovery, rehabilitation and progress. Nadeco RG national leader Atilade Adioyo, who said things had been moving in the direction of restoration of hope since the new president assumed office, said Tinubu and the winner of the June 12, 1993 election, late Moshood Abiola, had several traits, and as well as the vision of restoring the country's prosperity and rehabilitation in common. The Nadeko RG, which described June 12 as a significant day in Nigeria, said on the occasion of the 2023 Democracy Day, Tinubu's achievements as Lagos State Governor, alongside his team of technocrats, will ensure a great development of the country. Away from that, the National Information Technology Development Agency during the week said it has begun drafting the Nigeria Code of Practice on the use of artificial intelligence such as ChatGPT and others. The spokesperson Nitda Hadiza Umar disclosed this to newsmen, noting that while Nigeria has a national policy for AI, it is yet to have a code of practice. According to Umar, the code of practice is important, especially as several concerns have been raised on the growing risk of using AI and the country's preparedness to handle emerging technologies, particularly with the emergence of ChatGPT by OpenAI. Back here on the home front, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Umoino reiterated that all projects set in motion by a previous government to bring dividends to Akwa Ibom will be revived and maintained by his administration. Speaking during an inspection of the greenhouse where the state government is growing tomato, pepper and other vegetables, Governor Eno, who again assured that agriculture is top on his Arise agenda, stressed that his government will ensure food sufficiency for the people. He announced that the government is fully prepared to take over the former aqua palm farm, now known as Dakada Global, adding that all compensations have been paid. Government House correspondent Jane Uwa reported that the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Agriculture, Meru Koite, had thanked the governor for the visit and his assurances to revive and maintain the various agricultural projects in the state. Meanwhile, Akwa Ibom State Government took further steps within the week to improve the welfare of teachers in its employ with the payment of leave grants up to 2022 for those in public primary schools. The Executive Chairman, State Universal Basic Education Board, SUBEB, Dr. Anieti Etuk, disclosed this yesterday when he received the chairman of the state wing of Nigeria Union of Teachers, NUT, Comrade Edet Emenyi, and his executive on a courtesy visit to his office in Uyo. Dr. Etuk, a former speaker of the State House of Assembly, said the payment of leave grants in addition to the prompt payment of salaries was a practical demonstration of government's investment in the education sector. He called on the public primary school teachers, whom he described as the bedrock of the education system, to show passion and greater commitment to their duties in view of government's financial investment in the sector. Earlier in his address, the state chairman of Nigeria Union of Teachers, Comrade Edet Emenyi, conveyed the gratitude of teachers to the state government for the payment of leave grants and promised that the union was ready to collaborate with government to restore public confidence in public education system. Comrade Emenyi commended the chairman of the State Universal Basic Education Board, Dr. Anieti Etuk, for his passion for quality education, saying the meeting with the NUT was a pointer that he is in SUBEB to make a difference as one who knows the challenges of education sector and he is in a hurry to fix them. The NUT assured of the support of teachers in the advancement of the system and called on government to improve funding of education through timely promotion of teachers, employment of new ones, and payment of old entitlements to motivate them to perform optimally. In the meantime, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Umoino within the week congratulated Senator Godswill Akpabio on his emergence as the Senate President of the 10th National Assembly. In a statement released by his Chief Press Secretary Ekere Theodore, Governor Eno noted that the process was free, fair and transparent, and is a testament to the deepening of the nation's democratic traditions and ethos. He assured that his government is ready to work collaboratively with Senator Akpabio to move the needle of development, growth and progress of Akwa Ibom State in particular and the nation in general. Elsewhere, Capital Luxury Global Resources, a multifaceted and prestige company with a commitment to providing unlimited luxury products and services, yesterday unveiled a new resort in Etemekbo local government area of Akwa Ibom State. To celebrate the new villa, some top Nigerian entrepreneurs and celebrities, Obi Cubana, E-Money, the Prime Minister of Cubana Group, Lucky Luciano, Ned Nwoko, the real estate mogul, the Capital Luxury Ambassador in Yedo, Hilda Bassi, and others took a 3-day getaway trip to the Capital Luxury Villa hosted by the CEO of Capital Luxury Group, Edidiong Udoidiong. Reports say a luxurious feast was held at the Capital Luxury Villa, where the guests were treated to the full complement of the villa experience, showcasing the traditional Akwa Ibom hospitality, culture, good music, and dances, food, amongst other activities, with Nollywood celebrity and ambassador of Capital Luxury in Yedo, immediate past commissioner for tourism and immediate past special assistant to the immediate past governor of Akwa Ibom State, Udom Emmanuel, on entrepreneurial development, Meflin Awana, a cross-section of Akisan members, and Chef Hilda Bassi, among others, in attendance.
Business tourism in Akwa Ibom State experienced a boost over the week when some top Nigerian entrepreneurs and celebrities took a 3-day getaway trip to the Capital Luxury Villa, a new resort designed and built by Capital Luxury Homes for tourists who are seeking a high-end travel experience. The resort, which is located in a Temekpo local government area of Akwa Ibom State, provides privacy, space and luxury amenities than traditional hotels, giving tourists the chance to enjoy a luxurious home-away-from-home experience with porter services, daily housekeeping, private chefs, providing a personalized and comfortable travel experience, vacation home rental, including private tours, transportation, and other high-end services. Hosted by the CEO of Capital Luxury Group, Edidiong Udoidiong, and his wife, Ime Edidiong Udoidiong, celebrities like Obi Cubana, E-Money, the Prime Minister of Cubana Group, Lucky Luciano, Ned Nwoko, the real estate mogul, the Capital Luxury Ambassador in Yedo, and Hilda Bassi, among others. They were taken on a tour of the newly commissioned maintenance, repairs, and overall MRO facility at the Victor Ota International Airport, as well as around the Capital Luxury Customer-Centric Facility and Bus Terminal located at number 18 Itam Street, the transportation arm of the company. In his remark, Obi Cubana said Capital Luxury is a one-stop shop for a broad spectrum of businesses across the country and said he would love to do more business with the Capital Luxury Group. On his part, E-Money noted that the buses are high standards and has served as flight alternatives for his road trips over the years, as well as that of many Nigerians. Commenting on the MRO built by the Akwa Ibom State government, the CEO of Capital Luxury, Edidiong Udoidiong, stated that the facility is state-of-the-art and would enable aviation business to thrive, adding that it will encourage Capital Luxury Air fly more clients conveniently into the state and at large. Meanwhile, Capital Luxury Group has signed a business deal with Cubana Group to become the sole distributor of Odogu beaters and other related products in Nigeria's south-south states of Akwa Ibom and Cross River respectively. The deal was signed at Capital Luxury Villa and puts the brand in a pole position to market the luxury drink to patrons and new consumers. Reports say a luxurious feast was held at the Capital Luxury Villa, where the guests were treated to the full complement of the villa experience, showcasing the traditional Akwa Ibom hospitality, culture, food, music, and dances performed by different cultural troops, among other activities, with Nollywood celebrity and ambassador of Capital Luxury in Yedo, past commissioner for tourism and immediate past special assistant to immediate past governor of Akwa Ibom State, Udom Emmanuel, on entrepreneurial development, Meflin Awana, a cross-section of Akisan members, and Chef Hilda Bassi, among others, in attendance. Francis Edit, reporting for Spectrum TV News.
Still in Akwa Ibom State, TAF Media and Associates, owners of Planet FM, Dangsio and Spectrum Television in the course of the week celebrated its 10th Thanksgiving anniversary of Planet 101.1 FM at Destiny Mission Global Assembly in Uyo, the state capital. Our correspondent Esther Toyo has the details.
Speaking at the church service, the guest minister, Professor Ashung, urged Christians to know that it is impossible to please God except through faith, noting that life of possibility comes only when an individual takes God seriously.
Your possibilities begin with what you believe. Do you believe that God deserves your worship? That's where the worship really begins. I'm coming because I believe He deserves it. I'm giving it to Him because I know this is His due.
The chairman, TAF Media and Associates, Tony Afia, in an interview, thanked God for 10 years of success story of Planet FM. He encouraged the public to obtain electricity license from the state government so everyone can contribute to the development of the state by providing electricity to some needed areas in the state.
First of all, today, I know it's not been easy to be here for 10 years. Particularly, most of you know about our road, and that road is still there. President Bola Tinubu has assented to the electricity bill passed in July 2022. It was passed during the Buhari regime. It did not sign into law, seeking to repeal the Electricity and Power Sector Reform Act of 2005. It becomes the Electricity Act of 2023. The Electricity Act now consolidates all legislative dealings with the electricity supply industry to provide an omnibus and ideal institutional framework to guide the post-privatization phase of the Nigerian electricity supply. It's called NESI, and encourage private sector investment in that sector.
Also, the general manager of TAF Media and Associates, Sunday Edit, the head of Spectrum Television, Oruwese Olusegun, and other staff expressed appreciation to God for the sustainability of Planet FM and shared their experience.
And from the very onset, brought us to being the envy of the competition. The experience has been wonderful. We've had all this classic kind of staff and personnel that has taken us to where we are today.
I want to tell you that the short time that I've gotten to experience TAF Media owners of Planet being the oldest asset, it's been wonderful.
I'm really grateful to God for taking us this far. With everything happening, we've had to re-strategize, but we have ensured that we keep showing up.
We've had our own fair share of challenges. We've had our ups, we've had our downs. But rising from here, we're asking God for more strength for us to move forward, deliver the dividends of broadcasting to the people.
It's been a wonderful celebration. I must say thank you to the chairman of TAF Media Group, Tony Afia.
Oh, Planet FM, very interesting. I love the program. I love all the staffs. I love all the representation and everything that is going on. I'm so excited to be among them.
So I want them to inspire others since they were the first indigenous stations in this state. So
other well-wishers who spoke at the event described Planet 101.1 FM as one of the best and #1 private radio in Uyo. While commenting on the radio programs, they encouraged the media platform to continue to be independent and unbiased in their reportage.
In a nutshell, Planet has placed Akwa Ibom State on the world map because a lot of persons actually didn't know about Akwa Ibom State, but Planet gave us a spotlight.
You know that Planet FM is one of the radio stations that is on ground in Akwa Ibom State here. Not only in Akwa Ibom State, I believe they should be going viral in other states. So they have been on ground over the years with mind-blowing programs, fantabulous ones. So I'm not innocent of their presence and good activities here in the state. The Planet FM has to be independent. The Planet FM has been independent over the years, so the continuous independence giving people the freedom of expression.
High point of the event was thanksgiving by management and staff of TAF Media Group and musical performance by Reverend Mbaseki Ayomobi. Esther Otoyo reporting for Spectrum Television.
Meanwhile, residents of Uyo, I beg your pardon, within the week called on Nigerian leaders to address the issues surrounding Nigerian economy as Nigerians marked Democracy Day. Speaking with Spectrum Television, they described democracy as government for the people, calling on the current administration both at the federal and state level to ensure that they put in place appropriate measures to reduce the effect of subsidy removal on the masses. They also charged the government to put first the needs of the people before theirs, adding that democracy can only prevail when the people's choice are met. In the meantime, as this year's World Day Against Child Labor is celebrated around the globe with the theme Social Justice for All, End Child Labor, people during the week were advised on the negative effects of child labor and the need to invest more in children's academic life. Speaking with Spectrum Television on the need to eliminate child labor, residents of Uyo, Akwa Ibom State Capital, stated that the day serves as an important reminder that countless children continue to endure abusive and hazardous working conditions, noting that the day is of utmost significance because it aims at ending child labor across the globe. They called on both the federal and state government to make available more policies that will totally eradicate child labor in the country, as well as parents and caregivers to ensure that their wards obtain basic education to reduce the number of out-of-school children and end child labor. Still to come in the news. Federal government issues 2 oil export terminal licenses, eyes $11 billion. Stay tuned for details after this time out. Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon.
Every society is premised on the quality of relationships forged by its inhabitants. The health of these relationships determines how well people, relationships, organizations thrive and how long they stick together. Join Uyai Anyekan on Connect every Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. and on Sunday 2:30 to 3 p.m. on Channel 421 on Star Times to catch all the conversations, interviews, real stories on how to navigate relationships and family life in the 21st century. Real people, real faces, real stories. Connect live on Spectrum Television.
Thanks for staying tuned, and now to the rest of the news. In Africa, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres during the week called for maintaining but streamlining a decade-old peacekeeping mission in troubled Mali, whose military leaders have clashed with the West and turned to Russia. In a report to the United Nations Security Council, which will vote on June 29 on extending one of the UN's most dangerous missions, Guterres called for a reconfiguration of the mandate of the force known as MINUSMA that was first launched in 2013. He acknowledged uneven results from MINUSMA but pointed to the importance of the coming year, with the junta promising, to the skepticism of many, a return to civilian rule. Meanwhile, with the security situation deteriorating, Guterres proposed 3 options, including raising troop levels and pulling out of the mission completely. Meanwhile, a delegation of European leaders within the week promised over $1 billion of financial assistance to Tunisia as part of a proposed wider agreement encompassing action to tackle migration. The head of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, the Prime Ministers of Italy and the Netherlands, Giorgia Meloni and Mark Rutte, have been holding talks with President Kais Saied. Von der Leyen said the EU would provide Tunisia with over $100 million this year for border management, search and rescue, and returning migrants. She stressed that both sides wanted to break what she called the cynical business model of people smugglers. Elsewhere, the United States and Saudi Arabia, in the course of the week, condemned the resumption of violence in the Sudanese capital Khartoum, where residents have reported airstrikes and exchanges of artillery fire. In a joint statement, the two countries noted that the Sudanese army and the paramilitary rapid support forces had controlled their forces during a 24-hour ceasefire, and it was deeply disappointing that fighting had resumed. A pro-democracy neighborhood group said shells had landed in people's homes in the south of the capital following the expiry of the ceasefire. One resident, who was awakened by the sound of fighting, said the one-day lull on Saturday was like a dream that had now vanished. Still in Africa, the government of Benin during the week said it is recruiting a further 5,000 soldiers following a rise in militant attacks on its northern border with Burkina Faso. According to reports, the new recruits will be required to know at least one of the languages spoken in the region and will be given 6 months of training. Reports say that jihadists are present in the vast Park W, a protected area of forest stretching across the borders of Benin, Burkina Faso and Niger. They've been using the reserve to launch attacks and infiltrate communities. On the foreign scene, Russian President Vladimir Putin within the week claimed that Ukraine's counteroffensive has been unsuccessful, with its army suffering major losses. Speaking at a meeting of war correspondents, he said that Kyiv's losses were approaching a catastrophic level. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Zelensky has denied that the counteroffensive is failing. He thanked Ukrainian troops for every step and every meter of Ukrainian land that is being liberated from Russian evil. Meanwhile, the United States had announced a new $325 million military assistance package for Ukraine as Kyiv's troops battle Russian forces in a recently launched counteroffensive. The U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said the package will provide $325 million worth of U.S. arms and equipment. He said the equipment includes critical air defense capabilities, additional munitions for high-mobility artillery, rocket systems, artillery rounds, anti-tank weapons, armored vehicles to retake its sovereign territory and support Ukraine's air defenders as they bravely protect Ukraine's soldiers, civilians, and critical infrastructure. In the meantime, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, in the course of the week, said that Ukrainian air defenses shot down 10 of 14 cruise missiles fired by Russia in a deadly strike overnight. Officials said air defenses also intercepted one of 4 Iran-made Shahid drones launched by Russia. According to reports, in the central city of Karyaria, at least 6 people were killed, dozens were wounded, and rescue teams were working to free people still trapped under the rubble. Head of the Karyaria City Military Administration, Alexander Vikul, said on Telegram that one apartment building, a warehouse with food, were currently dismantling the rubble and extinguishing the fire, adding that many people lost their apartments, which are now in resettlement. Still on the foreign scene, around 13,000 people had reportedly been evacuated in northeast Philippines as the country's most famous volcano, Mayon, continued to ooze lava. The country's chief volcanologist, Teresito Bacalao, said more people could be evacuated if Mayon's unrest intensifies in the coming days. Bacalao added that the volcano is currently under the 3rd highest warning in a 5-tier system that forecasts the threat of hazardous or explosive eruption. Reports say Mayon is among the country's most active volcanoes. It has grown restive in recent weeks with more frequent earthquakes and rocks falling from its crater. Elsewhere, former Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi, who was reportedly bounced back from sex scandals and corruption allegations, had died at the age of 86. Reports say he died at the San Raffaele Hospital in Milan. Recall that in April, he was treated for a lung infection linked to a previously undisclosed case of chronic leukemia. In our business news, the federal government within the week issued and signed licenses for the establishment of 2 crude oil export terminals capable of generating $11 billion revenue annually for the country. It issued the licenses through the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority NMDPRA to Belima Sweet Export Terminal Limited and NNPC Exploration and Production Limited in Abuja. Speaking at the event in Abuja, the Chief Executive NMDPRA Farouk Ahmed said the signing of the terminal establishment licenses for the 2 crude export terminals would lead to the addition of more than 4 million barrels of oil capacity to Nigeria's export storage. He noted that subsequent to the licenses, terminal establishment notices were to be published in the federal government's gazette. Meanwhile, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) during the week issued a fresh circular to oil marketers on the price of petroleum products. NNPCL, in a released circular, directed marketers to consider merging their old orders with which carry the old fuel price in order to buy at the new ordered price. According to reports, marketers had before the deregulation ordered 1 truck of petrol for about 7.7 million naira. However, the new circular by the company advised marketers who had probably ordered 3 trucks at the price of 7.5 million to merge their orders or ask for a refund. Elsewhere, the Nigerian Association Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, NASIMA, in the course of the week called on players within the organized private sector to ensure that government functionaries are held accountable for the policies they formulate, especially as it affects the business community. The association's new president, Dele Oyi, noted this at an investiture ceremony which took place in Afe Babalola University, Ado-Ekiti, to swear him in as the 22nd national president of the chamber. Oye charged the organized private sector to strengthen its engagement with the federal government to formulate pro-business policies that would drive inclusive economic growth and development for the country. According to him, under his watch, the association would be prioritizing development efforts at youth development and women empowerment, saying that for Nigeria to change its economic narratives, it must invest in women, youth, and education. In the meantime, the Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, NECA, within the week urged the federal government to decisively deal with the government's revenue challenge and the generally inhospitable business environment. In a statement, the Director General of NECA, Wale Oyerinde, advised the government to make urgent efforts to stabilize the economy by refocusing fiscal and monetary policies to promote growth. Oyerinde noted that it was pertinent to have a realistic wage policy with a minimum or living wage, and it should be fundamentally based on sustainable enterprises, productivity, and economic development. According to him, the current national minimum wage of 30,000 naira came into effect in 2019 after a structured negotiation by the National Minimum Wage Committee. Still in business, total taxes on products in the economy had rose by 112.02% from 1.43 trillion naira in 2019 to 3.03 trillion naira in 2022, coinciding with a value-added tax hike from 5% in 2020 to 7.5% in 2022. This was contained in the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) Nigerian Gross Domestic Product Report, Expenditure and Income Approach for the years under review. The NBS defines net taxes on products as the total taxes payable on products minus any subsidies received for the product. Prior to the implementation of the new VAT administration, net taxes on products totaled 1.43 trillion naira in 2019. Commenting on the growth of the net taxes on products, the NBS said that on a year-on-year basis, net taxes on products grew in real terms by 10.30% in Q3 of 2022 and 11.18% in Q4 of 2022 compared to 6.22% and 67.99% in Q3 and Q4 of 2021. Still to come in the news. Super Eagles to face Sierra Leone in AFCON qualifiers Sunday. Stay with us for details after this timeout.
Business exists only to meet the needs of the people, but there's an extra advantage if your product and services are pitched on a platform that gives you the added advantage over your competitors. For your desired return on investment and so much more, advertise on Spectrum Television, on StarTime's DTH Channel 421 and on free-to-air with a frequency of 12733. Spectrum Television, broadening your horizon.
Thanks for staying tuned. To conclude the news this afternoon. In health, a consultant surgeon at the Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, DTH Channel, Dr. Ghazali Ibrahim Umar, within the week called on the newly elected leaders in the country to assist in the training and provision of liver surgeons in Nigeria, lamenting that at the moment the country does not have any. The appeal was made by the chairman local organizing committee for the second liver surgery symposium, Dr. Ghazali Ibrahim Umar. In a statement issued by Hawa Abdullahi, AKTH Deputy Director, Information, Dr. Umar recalled that in 2021, the Department of Surgery, AKTH, gathered that surgery and top on the communique list was a call to have more liver surgeons in Nigeria because patients with liver problems who required surgical intervention continue to suffer, with many of them unavailable and unable to afford a trip abroad for treatment. He therefore called on all Nigerians to assist in promoting and sustaining the crusade until the mission is accomplished. Meanwhile, a professor of food science and technology at the Bells University of Technology, Ota, Ogun State, Olubenga Ogumoleye, during the week advised food handlers to ensure that what they serve the public is safe for consumption by having them protected from chemical, biological and physical hazards. Ogumoleye, who is the President Society of Testing Laboratory Analysts of Nigeria, in an interview with newsmen, said that consuming contaminated food could lead to all manner of foodborne illnesses, including jaundice, cancer, typhoid fever, fatigue, cancer, and even death. He added that food handlers must imbibe good hygiene practices and ensure that foods are prepared and handled in safe conditions with appropriate storage practices. Still in health, the National Health Insurance Authority (NHIA) in the course of the week said individuals and groups can have access to health insurance through the group individual and family social health insurance program that will save them from paying for treatment when the need arises. The coordinator NHIA Yaba State Office, Rita Chukwu, spoke during an event organized for MDAs with the theme Universal Health Coverage, Mitigating the Challenges of Healthcare Service Delivery in Lagos. The event was attended by some workers of the MDAs, health practitioners, and enrollees, among others. The event, she noted, was organized to enlighten its enrollees on their benefit package under NHIA and to know their rights. Dr. Hamid Obani of the Standards and Quality Assurance Division of NHIA Yaba State Office, explaining the essence of having health insurance, said, naturally, when people have access to health care, they are easily diagnosed when they feel unwell. In sports, Nigeria's Super Eagles on Sunday will be taking on Sierra Leone in this year's Africa Cup of Nations AFCON and qualifier. The head coach of the Super Eagles, Josie Pissarro, had released his 23-man team to face Sierra Leone, and the team is reported to have the likes of Napoli's Victor Osimhen, Everton's Alex Iwobi, and Villarreal's Samuel Chukwueze, among others. Meanwhile, Nigeria currently sits on top of Group A with 9 points from 4 matches. Still in sports, Huddersfield town manager Neil Warnock within the week signed a 1-year deal to remain with the championship club for the 2023-2024 season. The 74-year-old came out of retirement in February to rejoin the club until the end of the season. The Terriers were 23rd in the table on his arrival, but won 7 of their 15 games under Warnock and finished 18th, 9 points off the relegation places. Warnock, who initially retired from football management in 2022, having left Middlesbrough, is joined by assistant Ronnie Jemson in committing to the club for a further year. On our entertainment news, Guinness World Records GWR had confirmed Nigerian chef Hilda Bassi as the new record holder for longest cooking marathon by an individual. In a statement released within the week, GWR noted that Bassi cooked for the period of 93 hours and 11 minutes. According to GWR, Bassi attempted to set a record of 100 hours. However, almost 7 hours were deducted from her final total because she mistakenly took extra minutes for one of her rest breaks early on in the attempt. Recall that the previous record of 87 hours 45 minutes was set by India-based chef Lata Tandon in 2019. Meanwhile, Guinness World Record also said Nigerian chef Dami did not submit an application before attempting to break her compatriot Hilda Bassi's cooking record. Guinness disclosed this following the public's demand of their silence on Dami's attempt to surpass Bassi's record. The record body noted that to attempt such a feat, applications should be made via its website, a set of detailed guidelines specific to that record category given and must be adhered to, which will serve as a list of evidence to verify the record. Recall that the Ekiti-based lady chef Dami took up cooking on Friday, June 9, with the organizers saying she would cook for 120 hours. Still on entertainment, the Recording Academy, organizers of Grammy Awards within the week, created a category for Best African Music Performance. The category was among the 3 new ones announced by the Academy in a statement released via its website. The other 2 newly created categories are Best Pop Dance Recording and Best Alternative Jazz Album. According to the statement, the new categories will receive nominations beginning with next year's show. And that's all we have for you at this time on the news this week. A recap of major stories within the week. My name is Uyai Anyekan. Do ensure to follow us on social media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtv.ng. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.